What's up, guys? So in this video, I want to go ahead and talk about the CashCow Academy by Adrian Dymack. I think that's how you say his name. So basically, and I'll have a much deeper review on my Patreon if you guys want to go check that out. But basically, this will be like a short version. The program's led by Adrian Dymack. You get like coaching and stuff through Discord. I think it's like $40 a month, last I checked. Um, and you're taught how to run a e-commerce business. You have your different videos as you would expect, and then the community on Discord. Now, the reviews that I've seen so far, like I said, we'll dive deeper into this later, but have kind of been like subpar. So basically, and I think the reason for this is because of the price of the program. So when you're talking about $40, one, everybody can buy into it, which is in a way, like, that's a good thing, right? Like, it has its pros. Like, he's giving access to everybody, which I think is a good thing. However, the actual coaching side of it, I think, is lacking, because then it just turns into a bunch of other people getting in. The chat gets so big, the server gets so big, it almost turns into like a blind leading the blind kind of situation, which is why I'm not totally a fan of like the easy entry, so to speak, or like the cheap entries programs. That said, I'm also not a fan of the business model. So e-commerce is just incredibly saturated. So you already have a program that's saturated. You have, frankly, outside of Cash Cow Academy, you have multiple programs just saturated with students. Okay, from 2019 to 2023, I've said this statistic before. The amount of online stores has tripled, going from like 9.2 million to like 26.9 million, so nearly tripling. Okay, and the reason why that's a problem is because of competition. Sure, everybody can go in, build a website, um, you know, make their site look super freaking dope, have great prices, but if they have no traffic to those pages, nobody is going to buy. It's like your business card being at the bottom of the deck. And then you have to spend all sorts of money in ads or SEO, probably thousands of dollars per month in either, if not both, just to get traction to have a chance at converting over to sales. On top of that, you're having to pay shipping. You're going to have to deal with refunds if people are waiting too long for a product and then they're just like, screw this, give me my money back, which would also suck. There's just so many different moving parts to where it's not even really a side hustle. It becomes like a second full-time job. And I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want like a second full-time job. The thing that I do is like truly on the side, and I'll show you it here in a second. But between those different things with e-commerce, it's just something that I don't like. You have small margins, so you have your inventory, your ads, your shipping, your packaging, all this stuff that you're paying for, to where at the end of the day, your margin's like 6 to 8%. And I'm not just pulling that number out of my butt. I have multiple friends who have tried drop shipping before, or e-commerce, who have had success. Okay, I'm talking people that have had stores that do $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, but they're only pocketing 3 or 4K, because after all their expenses, that's just what's left. People don't often talk about that, unfortunately, but hopefully that helps you in some capacity, just to put it in perspective. So yeah, competition, saturation, small profit margins, potentially blind leading the blind in this situation. Not really a huge fan of something like that. What I do like is this thing that I do, obviously, which is called local lead generation. So basically, I build a website like this, and I rank it to the top of Google like this. Been number one for like 5 years now. It took me 6 to 8 weeks, okay, to get to this spot. And I say 6 to 8 just because I don't remember the exact thing. It was like a month and a half, 2 months that it took me to go from basically zero to hero in this spot. And the reason why this spot is so important is because when somebody needs, like, say there's a storm and a tree falls onto the roof of the house, obviously that needs to get removed right away for obvious reasons. So they click the website, they check it out, make sure, these guys can really do the job. They click this number. This number is then forwarded off to a contractor who actually fulfills the work. In the contracting space, this is known as a finder's fee, and it's super common, okay? So basically I send him all the work, and then at the end of the month, he pays me. It's typically like a flat fee, anywhere between, with these sites in general, I should say, like $500 to $2,000 per month. Just depends on the niche you're in. Like if you're doing concrete, for example, obviously you can get way more than $2,000 a month, but it's a bit more of a competitive space. I like to stay with the easy stuff, kind of like this. But yeah, anywhere between like $500 to $2,000 a month. As far as profit margins go, as I was just talking about e-commerce and their tiny profit margins, with lead generation, you're talking about like 80 to 90% profit margins, because all my expenses are $10 a year for the domain name, and then $15 a month for call tracking number, and $15 a month for website hosting. Really not a whole lot of expenses. I also like it because of just how passive it is. Okay, I haven't touched that site in like 5 years. True story. Okay. The other thing too is that like I don't have to work on this business every single day. If I want to put up a new site, if I want to do some research, whole process takes me maybe 1 to 2 hours. Seriously. And with AI, things go even faster now. I just had a site down in Florida. I launched it in May, and I'm already on page 1 for the keywords that I'm going after, and I've fully used AI content for that. Okay, like it's really hard to beat this business model as far as terms of passiveness, efficiency of just how fast you're able to do it, and the lack of competition. Okay, so with e-commerce, I just told you you're competing with like thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. Okay, millions of stores. With this, I'm competing with maybe 10 to 20 different businesses in any given area, and most of those businesses don't really know how to rank a website. So when I go in with a fresh website and I do some basic SEO, I'm on the first page in like, 2 to 3 months, generally speaking. Like if I did my research right, that's typically where I'm at. So if you want to know more about what it is and how I do it, go ahead, jump over to this site right here. I'll have a link for you down in the description below, but basically it answers every question you could possibly have about this business model, and what it exactly is, how you get paid, all that stuff. You've got the price at the bottom. You got a really clear refund policy, just super transparent. If you guys want to know more about Adrian Dymack and CashCow Academy, go ahead and check out my Patreon. I'll have that linked in the description below. Looks like this. If you guys are interested, go ahead, check that out for a much more in-depth review. And if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.